Hello, I'm just doing a test, just testing how this sounds. Thank you. Please ignore this. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another gorgeous day of NGS action. Today we are going to Division A, Points Donation Squad versus Under Newb Management. And so it's going to be a pretty interesting game. We've already done the map picks and bans, but before we go into that, let's take a look at the standings for Division A. Now, as usual, the standings will not function for the very first few seconds, but give it a go. I'm still trying to figure it out, but at least I got it working to this extent again. But anyway, here we go. I believe this next one should be the full standings. There we go. Under Newb Management sitting at 7 points, and Points Donation Squad doing as their namesake and sitting at 1 point, only one map won. So definitely going to be an uphill battle for Points Donation Squad, but they should be able to do it. Now the coin toss was won by Points Donation Squad, and they have banned away Sky Temple and Battlefield of Eternity. Under Newb Management has banned away Infernal Shrines and Brax's Holdout. And map number 1, Towers of Doom. Now that's going to be a little bit of an interesting one, to say the least. It's going to be a pretty long-winded map. It is a map that benefits late-game drafts. It benefits having someone that's able to double soak. Lots of differences in specifically Towers of Doom compared to most other maps for Heroes of the Storm. But now all players are in the lobby, so we should be starting soon. But we're going to have to see. You never know how this stuff goes on. But what I can say so far is it's still early this season, so Points Donation Squad obviously only sitting on that 1 point, while Under Newb Management is pretty high up there with 7, kind of sitting upper middle of the pack. And interestingly enough, this is also a week 2 game, so I do believe Points Donation Squad is kind of falling behind in terms of their games. Don't quote me on that. It's hard to keep up with 6 divisions, but I'm doing my best here. But like I always say, early on in the season, some of the teams are still trying to gain their footing, and with every week they get stronger and stronger and stronger, and then eventually you see some stuff really blow up. Now, I've mentioned this team specifically, Magnitude Epicenter, last season. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They did not look great during the regular season, but by the last week of the regular season, they cleaned it up, got themselves a win, got them the 8th slot in the playoffs, and then they made it all the way to semifinals, and they looked good in the semifinals. And that's the only thing that matters. If you play long enough, if you're practicing hard enough, you can do really anything within your division. There's a reason why you're in the division, and a lot of these teams need to remember that. Not that any of these players have said otherwise, but still important to note about that. Now, Vendrick was asked about this, but I will also let everyone else know I am slowly but surely trying to create my own community Discord. It is still under construction. No one's joined yet. It's just me. But if it's something you're interested in, !Discord. I'll try and be more active on it because I do cast some other leagues on occasion. So if you ever want to see more Tokibi streaming content, that would be the place to go, as well as any other news. I'll try posting my schedule weekly there as well. But with that being said, it does seem like both teams are ready. So we should be heading into game 1 shortly. And this should be an exciting one since it is the Towers of Doom.
Towers of Doom.
Alright, and now we are starting the drafts, and Towers of Doom, first thought Dahaka. I think both teams will definitely keep Dahaka, at the very least in the back of their heads, because it's a hero that can double soak, it's a hero that can fight. The Brush Stalker, able to get between lanes super fast, just overall very powerful hero. Wouldn't be specifically out of it. But yeah, I expect to see Dahaka banned away. Stuff like Leora could probably get picked. And we'll see from there. So waiting on that first ban. So it does seem like they were not 100% agreed upon what they want. And they're going to ban the Kel'Thuzad. And it probably is because it's a little bit difficult to plan ahead when it comes to draft for the NGS. Especially when it's a map like Towers of Doom. Towers of Doom is very different. So depending on the map that you're playing, you're going to want to change your strategies. You're going to want to see what your opponent has played on those specific maps. But I digress, because Garrosh also going to get banned away by Points Donation Squad. Very powerful hero, very powerful tank, and is a huge playmaker as well. We've seen a lot of success on Garrosh across every single division, all the way from Division E to the Heroic Division this season. Not surprising to see that it has worked. Now Varian is going to be the next ban. And it's interesting that they banned the Varian, because Varian is still quite strong, but also not really a must pick or ban. So it's probably something specific to Points Donation Squad that they want to remove. Taunt Varian Stukov combo, obviously well known. It is one of the premier combos in the game. But it's interesting because typically the Stukov is the one banned with that combo. It's rarely the Varian unless they know they're against someone who's very good on that hero. And I suspect that is the reasoning for it. And now, sorry, we'll talk about the Jaina ban after, but Dahaka instantly locked in by Chromage. Very powerful hero, like I said, just number one for a reason, getting absolutely blasted in this next patch for a very good reason. Dahaka has been very powerful for a very long time. But now Chromie and a Nubarak going to get locked in by a Points Donation Squad. So, oh, and something's crashed. So we'll just go back to this screen for now. It seems like someone has DC'd. We'll figure it out afterwards. Let's get the music back on. And it seems like one of the players' internet crashed, so we're going to have to redo the draft one more time. And let's face it, things like drafts are definitely more fun the second time. I'm just let them know I'm still good whenever. And so the main thing I do want to talk about a bit more is the Jaina. Now, Jaina, I have seen it banned okay. I haven't seen it banned before, and it's okay as a ban, but it's still not the most powerful thing overall. So once again, it's really just showing how much respect both of these two teams have for each other. They're not banning meta, especially with Dahaka being let through. They care more about each of these individuals' strengths when it comes to their drafting, when it comes to their, well, strategy overall. And I think especially once you start getting into these higher level divisions like Division A, Heroic, Division B as well, it becomes really important to know that, like, even if a hero is strong, if the enemy isn't quite as good on it as they are in something else, that something else is going to be more important to get rid of. Like that Varian, get rid of the Varian, get rid of that Jaina. Don't let them play what they know, and don't let them play what they want. Now, that only changes, in my opinion, at the very, very highest level. And I don't think, so probably maybe like the top few teams of Heroic Division would only really need to care too much about meta. But at the same time, and what I really like to think about this is that the overall meta right now is pretty open. There's a lot of heroes that can be picked. There's a lot of heroes that can be played. And I think that's just a testament to the job that the janitor has been doing back at Blizzard. They've been making sure that every single hero is viable. No hero aside from Dahaka being overtuned, but even that's gonna get taken care of. I will never stop being biased against Dahaka, by the way. I'm so tired of Dahaka every single game on every single map. I'm okay with Dahaka on stuff like Cursed Hollow, Garden of Terror, Dragon Shard, just any big tall map. That's kind of where I'd expect Dahaka to shine. But every other map where it's like he's still contested over on Tomb of the Spider Queen, nah, I don't want to see that anymore. Dahaka is done in my brain. But the router has been restarted, so we're still waiting on the player to get back into the lobby. And once that happens, we will restart the draft. And obviously both teams, the usual handshake, they're going to repeat the same picks and bans up until the moment where they drifted apart, where the game crashed, and then they're just gonna continue on as regular. I'm not sure if that's the rule. I imagine it would be the rule in the NGS. I just never actually checked it. Back when I did play, the captain dealt with that stuff, so wasn't my problem back then. But either way, it's always nice to see when these teams are playing kind of with each other instead of against each other. No, and now they're threatening to draft a Cho'Gall. I would still love to see a Cho'Gall. I've seen a Cho'Gall banned twice now. I'm trying to remember which game this was. I think this was one that I cast, I believe, on Thursday. I think it was Solid Cloud versus Team Happy Cloud, or Solid School versus Team Happy Cloud. Sorry, I think that's where the Cho'Gall bans came through. Still not sure what that was about. I'm assuming it was a way to just push the draft forward. And that is the strategy that I've seen a couple of teams employ. And in fact, it's a strategy that I've noticed even in professional gaming. I've noticed it in Dota 2. I've noticed it in League of Legends, where they'll ban nothing to leave more powerful picks available. And the typical example that I give for that is, let's say the 3 strongest heroes in the game are going to be Dehaka, Blaze, and Leoric. Let's say it's those 3, right? And if the other team picks first, if you ban 2 of those ones, they will always get the 3rd. But if you ban none of them and the other team doesn't ban any of them, they get 1 and you get 2 of them. So you now have 2 of the by far strongest heroes. So sometimes there is an advantage of not banning what is strong, because it does end up winning you out in the draft. But yeah, still waiting for the final person to load in. So we're gonna just sit here, enjoy the music a bit. I don't really feel like going into the introduction screen today. I don't know, I'm just really chatty. I'm very energetic. It's been a very good week for me. A lot of good stuff has happened. Well, lots of good stuff. There's been lots of stress going on in my life. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna get into details of it. But all of it is now past. All of it has gone great. So now I'm just kind of hanging out. Really looking forward to another set of NGS action. And I'm also and I've also started casting over on Risen Esports channel every other Saturday for the Emerald League of Legends League that they run. Yesterday was my first day. And honestly, it was a ton of fun. I like the co-casters I was with, so just been a really good day. I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm just in a great mood. Hopefully it's infectious. I know sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but that's just the way it goes. But just waiting on the final player, the captain of one of these teams, to make their appearance. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. I think that HOTS is actually a pretty good game in terms of reconnecting. One of the most annoying things about League of Legends, back when I did run a team, when I cast games, etc., is if something breaks during the draft, everything has to restart from scratch. You have to remake the lobby, re-add everyone. In HOTS, that one person that left, they're just gone. Everything else is already set. Just bring them back in and everything's good. But yeah, rumor has it they are logging back on. So hopefully we can get started in the next little while. And we should be good soon. But I am going to be thinking, so right now Dehaka has already been locked in for under Newb management. Whether Points Donation Squad intended for that to happen doesn't really matter at this point. What I'm curious about is what's going to be the answer from Points Donation Squad. Now, I've noticed a few different strategies going on from different teams. I've noticed some of them decided to pick up Sonya instead. Now, Sonya wins the 1v1 into Dehaka, doesn't really win in terms of the double soak, the double push. But the idea is if you have a Sonya and one other person can roam up, you can kill the Dehaka or push them off the wave. So it doesn't matter how fast you can clear if you can't approach. And I'm wondering if they're going to go down that path, or instead they're going to go something like the Leoric, or maybe the Zeratul, or the Vikings. Now, I haven't seen Zeratul or Vikings often for this game, or for this series, and just in NGS in general. Not picked too often, but they are very good on Towers of Doom. They can clear the waves super fast. they can match and sometimes even win against the Dahaka in terms of the double soak. Okay, all members are back in. All parties are ready. So we should be getting back in shortly. And we're going to have the same draft to start with, but I think we left pretty early. It was just after Chromie and Anubarak got picked. So only 3 picks.
Towers of Doom.
So Towers of Doom gonna be the map, and once again, just rerunning draft. And I guess I never really talked about the Chromie and Uberak pick, but my first thought for it, I don't know if it's a good thought or a bad thought, is under new management, I really hope they don't pick the Mephisto. Mephisto, very difficult to play to both those heroes. Obviously, they don't have to pick Mephisto. There's a lot of good picks that are still available to them. And once again, it's going to be the Kel'Thuzad, and I believe Varian was the other ban for under new management. I forget the first ban for Points Donation Squad. I think it was Garrosh and then Jaina. And then Chromage locked in the Dahaka. And I forget who locked in the Chromie and the Anubarak. And those were the only 3 picks we had. So hopefully this will not take too long to get back. And then we can continue on with your regularly scheduled programming of Points Donation Squad versus under new management. And it's also going to be interesting this week because, as you can see, the lighting not too great right now. I will be moving into a new setup in the summer. So for season, what is this, season 19 right now? Season 20 will have better lighting for my camera. I'm looking forward to that. I have the setup. It's just where I currently am. I cannot set it up. But for the next season, that's going to be something that will be happening. But now, this is all going to be new drafts. So Dahaka, Chromie, and Nubrak going to be picked. And this is when Liddell allegedly rage quit. Who's alleging it? Only me, no one else. But I'm still going to do it. Joanna and Vala going to be locked in for Liddell and Lumi. And Joanna has very good blinding ability. And Chromie deceptively deals a lot of damage through auto attacks. Obviously, we'll still be fine, even through the shield glare. We'll still be able to deal a lot of the damage with the Sandblast and the Dragon's Breath. But it'll still help lower the DPS. And most likely, they will need to get someone else that can deal more sustained DPS. Both Chromie, you don't necessarily have to. The cooldowns are low, and the auto attacks do hurt to some extent. Now, Oriel going to be the first ban, and Sonya going to be the second ban. So they're going to try and prevent this team fighting ability from Points Donation Squad. Now, with Vala getting locked in, I am curious which kind of Vala it's going to be, whether it's the Hungering Arrow or the basic attack build coming through. They're both played quite differently, though they both extenuate different strengths that Vala has. The Hungering Arrow build will make Vala a much stronger burst hero, whereas the auto attack obviously will make it a much more powerful regular basic attack hero. Now Tyke is locked in for Jack Burton, and Emsky going to lock in the Malthael. That's a very, very interesting offlane answer to Dahaka. Now Dahaka does have a pretty decently large health bar, and is able to heal it up. Now one thing I'm not sure, and hopefully if someone knows in chat they can let me know, but does Last Strikes from Malthael damage Dahaka if he's in stasis? Or is that preventing all damage, including any dots? I'm actually not sure how that mechanic works. But Alan, by default, going to lock in the White Mane and AG Silver with the Falstad. And once again, Falstad could go 2 ways. Auto attack build or the Hammering build. I suspect it's going to be Hammering for Falstad and auto attack for Vala. That's going to be my caster prediction. Tokubi certified guaranteed choice. But we'll see if any of that actually ends up happening. All these players are better than me. So that's why I feel confident making these decisions, because they'll know better than me regardless. And Rhaegar going to be locked in as the 10th pick for Fading Cheshi. And thank you, TZ. So it does not damage in stasis. So that does change things a little bit. But I think Malthael is still a pretty solid answer to the Dahaka. And Emsky's known to play Malthael. That definitely makes a lot of sense. But we are heading in to game number 1. All right, and we are loading in. Hopefully we will load in. We've already had a little bit of a setback earlier. But we're going to get started, and we're going to have an absolutely fantastic game number 1.
Prepare yourself for battle.
Now, I'm curious specifically about these two talents over here. I want to see what Lumi picks. I want to see what AG Silver picks. Auto attack build. Okay, 1 for 2. Let's see the hammer egg build. Come on, Gathering Storm. Gathering Storm. Gathering Storm. Gathering Storm. Not going to be picked quite yet. Okay, but we can kind of look at the other ones. It is going to be the Sandblast talent coming in from the Chromie. The movement speed coming from Dahaka. Shield Glare. This was the build that was nerfed. So this is the slightly weaker Joanna, but obviously still very powerful. And AG Silver still holding on to that final talent. We're not going to know if I was correct in the end, at least until this mid lane matchup. And it is going to be the auto attack build. Okay, so 1 for 2. That's good. 50% is a pass in some places. But with that, it's going to be 2 auto attack heroes picked for under Newb management. And that's a little bit interesting for me, because typically when you do want to play something like that, you want to have a bit more positioning ability. But Dahaka is already going to be double soaking. Unless they're doing something really weird, which it does seem like they may be, where Dahaka is going bot lane, Chromage going all the way bot. Or just starting there. I'm confused. You know, I'm just going to call what I see, because that's what's going to happen. Condemn does land on a 3. Liddell just trying to get forward, but taking a lot of damage and will go down. First blood going over for the Duke. Able to take down that Joanna. So yeah, okay. So it was just Chromage going down to the bot side to start with, and will be using that Brush Stalker. But with the first blood, this does allow Points Donation Squad to walk forward and start stealing away the siege camp. And I don't think under Newb management can really defend this. They don't have the positioning, they don't have the front line, but they do have the time trap. But AG Silver not going to get hit. Just slightly mistimed on the burrow charge. But either way, they still got the steal. They still got the landing from the Sappers. They're going to lose the bottom cannon tower for under Newb management. And now with that being said, they do have the main push forward. And Points Donation Squad, because of the way the timing worked, in theory, they could even get invaded onto the siege camp. And what it looks like to me is they're waiting to get to level 4 first, where they have the talent advantage, and then it'll be a bit safer for them to move forward. So right now, they're just going to clear away one more wave. Perhaps let Emski clear away some waves. But level 4 actually going to get hit by both sides at the same time. AG Silver just used the brush or the dash and will get hit by the Impale. The auto attacks, body blocks, and will be another kill going over to Points Donation Squad as they're able to get 2. Robot Wizard has the wave clear, is just holding the bot lane, so nothing lost at all. And with that, they're going to be able to just safely collect their siege camp. They were a little bit apprehensive because they knew there was nowhere else on the map that under Newb management needed to be. Since their camp was stolen, they're not going to match camps. They had less of a risk in terms of trying to invade. But with that extra kill, it's safe. Going to be a free pick for them. Not necessarily will be able to land, but it will give that extra push. And because of the timing, as the time trap goes off, Impale is going to land during the dash, but no other follow-up is there quite yet. Lumi just dashing and trying to get some extra picks, as both teams are setting up right now. And the Sandblast is doing a lot of damage. Robot Wizard is starting to get slightly low on mana, as both sides are going to be throwing their altars over the top, but the time trap lands onto 2. They're looking for Jack Birdo, but they're not going to be able to land onto the drag. Liddell still walking forward with Lumi, but now the fight's happening over on the other side. The Impale will land onto Lumi and Chromage, but no burrow charge to stack up on top of it. Fading Cheshi going to be able to get the final little bit of a channel, and it's going to be 8-4 in terms of damage in favor of Points Donation Squad. And now their XP lead is also growing at least a little bit. They're about to hit level 7. Less than half a level lead, but the lead is definitely there. And if they're able to continue playing this way, it will grow the later they get into the game. Now Chromage and Emski both just kind of fighting each other on the top side, as the siege camp has respawned for under Newb management. Now they are down a talent right now, but not going to be getting invaded quite yet. Robot Wizard just scouting them to check if they're on it, but now the invade is starting to come in. But level 7 has now been hit by under Newb management, so this will be more difficult And Lumi able to secure it before the invade can really come across. No engage coming through. A little bit of a scary moment for under Newb management, but they're able to safely get it. Not going to lose the second one. But during all that fighting, it appears that the second set of sappers has landed under the wall for under Newb management. So they've lost their gate, and they've taken a pretty decent amount of poke damage onto the other cannon tower on this bot side. Now the Condemned just going to pull back for a little bit of poke, but now the Dragon's Breath dealing so much damage to AG7 in the back line as the Duke just getting free hit by Lumi. Now the next set of altars is going to be spawning, and it's going to be 2 altars up in the top side. So I wonder just if either of these 2 teams are going to rotate up. The blue siege camp is spawning right now, so Opponent's Donation Squad will have it available to them if they want it. But at the same time, under Newb management could try to steal it. However, it looks like both teams are going to send all of their members up towards that top site. Not going to do the handshake, or they are going to do the handshake, but with all 5 members involved. So it's going to be another 4-4 damage coming from both these 2 teams. And now everyone else is just going to go back bot. 32-28 is the health on both these 2 cores. But AG Silver isn't going back to the bot side. In fact, no one on the team is. They're all going up top. They're looking towards Emsky. Have the slow. They do need something else. The Condemned not going to land, but they have the slow. They have the damage. 5-on-1 is always going to be a kill. And that's going to be 1 kill going over for under Newb management. First one of the game. But they had to bring all 5 members. So this push over the bot side should be able to get a lot of value. They've already finished off the wall, and now they're looking into this bell tower. Already down at half HP. The Sapper Camp is going to be coming in as well. And we'll get interrupted for a little bit by the Condemned from Liddell, but they will be able to secure it. And now they can start playing more aggressively. They're looking towards Lumi, but the Burrow Charge is not going to land. But Liddell gonna get hit by the Impale, and the Dragon's Breath will pop the Iron Skin. We'll be okay for now. But now the Duke's starting to get quite low, and Lumi with the damage. Same with AG Silver. Liddell throws out the Blessed Shield, and the Gust into the backline with the Vengeance. Gonna be more than enough, and Fading Cheshire gonna get hit with the second charge of Rain of Vengeance. And that's going to be a 3-0 for under Newb management. Just team fighting better. And they should be able to take back this bell tower before these altars spawn. There's no one here to defend. It is just Robot Wizard, who's also low on mana. Now there is the wave that they need to clear up. And this is pretty good timing and very good altar spawns for under Newb management as well. Because they have both the altars are over onto this bot side. So they can just hit the fort and still be in the general location of the spawn. Now look at the stacks. 43 autos now hit for Creed of the Hunter, and 18 damage for Frequent Flyer. Being part of a lot of kills definitely helps build stacks. And now both these sides definitely seem to be favoring over onto this top side altar. Robot Wizard should be able to get the free one over on the bot side. No one on the side of under Newb management is here for it. And now the Duke with the Impale going to be able to cancel Lumi for a little bit. Do they want to fight? Odin's going to be popped, so I'm assuming they do look to fight. And they will be able to cancel Lumi in the end, but the Cleanse is coming out for the Burrow Charge. The Duke starting to get out autoed on the backside, and so many abilities just getting thrown out left, right, and center. Emsky is caught in between and will not be healed by the Ancestor healing. It's just a little bit too slow to come out. And now Robot Wizard going to get hit by the Condemned, but no one else is there for it. And under Newb management will get the kill, and they will get the 4 damage. At the end of the day, it is just a trade, as the Burrow Charge is going to land, and they have the Temporal Loop for AG Silver, and they will be able to get it back with the Impale, but no further follow-up. And it is going to be the Temporal Loop, not the Slowing Sands, coming out for Robot Wizard. Both of those heroics, I'd argue it's probably the hero that is the closest to 50-50 in terms of which heroic ability is chosen. I've seen them both. I see them in every division. It just depends on what is needed in the game. And Temporal Loop, obviously very powerful and has a decently low cooldown. I believe it's only 40 seconds, 50 seconds, but does have a very long cast time. But now the Duke does have a side position, but with the Sappers pushing in, not going to be able to position too aggressively. There is no wall here, so Points Donation Squad can walk a little bit forward. But at the same time, it also means that it's easier to defend into the Sapper Camp. The Impale does land onto Liddell, but they're not looking for the play. Chromage now on the back line, looking for the drag. But the Cocoon is going to come out, and they're just going to disengage. They will throw a little bit of poke going back with the Dragon's Breath from Robot Wizard. But that's all they're going to be able to get. And during that time, Emsky was pushing out the waves. Malthael also pretty good at double soaking. Not as good as the Dahaka would be, but still quite decent. And now the altars are spawning over to this bot side. Level 13 has been hit by both these teams. They're going to be at the same talent tier unless this is a very long team fight. But the Duke has been spotted, I believe. But the Dragon's Breath going out to the backside anyway. And AG Silver taking down so low. And now they're just putting everything onto Liddell. The Gust is going to come through. And that's going to be the end of that play. Lumi is going to be hit with a temporal loop. No follow-up, though. Just the Dragon's Breath over top. Liddell going to be using the Blessed Shield and able to get the drag onto the backline. They have the cleanse, but it's not enough. The Tychus is going to go down. Time Trap in the backline. But during all of that, Emsky has already gotten it. And now the Rain of Vengeance not going to land, but the Condemned does land on the 3. And the drag once again onto Emsky, trying to heal back up. Just trying to get the last rights. And Chromage will go down. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 at the end of the day in terms of fighting. But the altar goes the way of Points Donation Squad. Now the XP is starting to grow in favor of under Newb management. Almost a full level. And once they take this camp, I think it will be a full level in their lead, in their advantage. But the health onto the core, it's 8 damage difference. And at this point, that matters quite a bit. One team fight could change everything. And with 3 altars spawning, if you're able to win just one team fight, let's say, and you take down the bottom Belfort and get all 3 altars, that is 15 damage. You just need boss and 1 sapper. 20 health is really not that much, especially once we're getting closer and closer to this late game. Now the sapper camp looks like it should be able to land. There is still the wall, and most of it is going to be gone, but the bottom cannon tower is still going to be up. And this second siege camp has spawned as well, but level 16, very close for under Newb management. And Points Donation Squad, they're aware of it. They're worried about it. They don't want to walk forward. Level 16 going to be hit right now as the siege camp gets started by the entire squad. But Liddell's walking forward. The Duke going to be able to get at least an auto. Not going to try to prevent them from walking in. Teamfight will definitely go the way of under Newb management right now unless they're able to get some very good poke from Robot Wizard. And they're definitely trying. AG Silver getting hit to half HP, but Allen by default going to have more than enough power to heal them back up. Now Time Trap is still right onto the Sappers as they will get cleared away. So it's just going to be the XP advantage and the possible pressure advantage. As AG Silver going to be able to lock in this bottom altar. The 2 on the top side are going to be traded. So now it's 20-16. And both teams are starting to get closer and closer to that position. Odin's going to get popped. Same with Cocoon. Level 16 now hit. They're looking for Liddell, but this is Liddell. Liddell going to get immediately hit and at half HP. They have the temporal loop and the stuns over top. And now Chromage, it comes in from the back. Looking for the Dragon Sensor healing. It's going to come down onto the Duke. The Duke is there with Emsky. Lots of abilities used, but no one goes down. But Brushstalker has been forced out of Chromage. That's not going to be up for this next ability. Now, the tunnels are up now, so there is going to be faster ways back onto the map after a death, after a reset. But it's going to be a little while before we see if that has any effect on this game. Right now, under Newb management, focusing more on pushing out this middle and top side, could be looking towards Emsky once again. They got this pick off once, and they're looking to do it again. Emsky trying to run to safety. Sees Liddell, sees Lumi, knows that they're in a bad spot. And right now, just buying time is actually really good, even on its own. Going to dodge Rain of Vengeance, will get hit by the second one. But they bought a lot of time, and now they're aiming towards Chromage, who's going to go into stasis. And they're not going to be able to take back this bell tower. They're going to try hitting onto it. They don't really have too much DPS. And the entire squad of under Newb management is on their way. It's 4v5 down here. The Malthael not going to be back up for 20 more seconds. The altar is going to spawn before that. So we're going to see at least some value come out of this tunnel, as I assume that's how they're going to be coming back. Full level advantage now for under Newb management. It's been almost a level for quite a while. But now it will be that full entire level. Robot Wizard gonna walk forward. Gonna try to cancel. But now they're looking. Blessed Shield gonna get used. And the Condemn. Drag. Not even needed. Will get thrown out last second, but can't drag once someone's already gone. And now we are tied 16-16. The buffer that Points Donation Squad had in terms of their advantage is going to be gone now. And the Sapper Camp going to land. Only one of them gets used, though. The other 2 are able to go straight to the bell tower. And now they're pushing towards it. They want this. Liddell gonna get the Condemn onto the Duke. Is tanking a bit of the fort, but will be okay. And there are no DPSs here. There isn't anyone to really help push this out. However, on the top side, Emsky and Jack Burton, they will be able to take the siege camp. They'll be able to get at least something back for it. But now there's going to be another 3 sappers going towards this bot side bell tower, and this could be the end of it. The Impale is going to land, just trying to keep them off of it, just trying to buy as much time as possible. The 2 DPSs are on their way. Jack Burton is here. The sapper camp is going to land, and it is starting to get low. Do they want to fight for this? And they're going to go onto AG Silver, but the Impale not going to land. Emsky is in the backline, but the Brush Stalker coming into that exact same bush. The Gus just going to push Robot Wizard and the Duke away, and that's going to be the end of the play. Somehow, this bell tower still stands, but not for long. Chromage barely misses the drag. I say misses, but Robot Wizard dodged that with the stasis. And now, just a little bit of poke going back and forth. The altars are spawning on the top side, but they are pushing for this bot side bell tower. They have the blind. They have the Odin already coming through. Jack Burton trying to DPS over top of it. Now they're able to get the stun onto Liddell. They're able to push it onto AG Silver as well. But still just trying to siege from distance. This shield glare is so annoying into the Odin, into Jack Burton's Tychus. And that's where it's going to be getting a little bit more difficult for them. But now both sides running towards the top side. Alter's going to be one for each team. One on the left side, one on the right. Now Chromage is walking forward, but the Duke is here as well. Going to land the Impale, and AG Silver going to be able to get theirs on the right side. But now the team fight is coming through. Level 20s are there for under new management. They have a very massive talent lead right now. And they have Lumi stuck in, but the drag is going to land. But Unstoppable does have the cleanse. Jack Burton just trying to DPS over the top. Liddell is caught in the time trap, but the wind wall. Everyone is caught, and everyone's hit by the Rain of Vengeance. And they're going to take down Emsky. They're going to take down Robot Wizard. And that's going to be a 3 for nothing. And also, I haven't given a shout out to this yet, but it is Divine Reckoning as the talent going for under noob management. But now it is 16-12. The altar's still up, but the boss is also up. Chromage going to finish off this bottom bell tower, and that's going to give that extra damage when they do finally take this altar. AG Silver looking for it, but now they're looking for an answer over on the bot side. The Duke looking on a Chromage will be able to get the stun and the Impale, but do they have enough DPS? It doesn't seem that way. Chromage will be able to back away, and in fact, Flight is coming through. AG Silver looking for the aggressive play. They're behind a fort, so they're essentially on the back lines. Jack Burton just going to be getting collapsed upon and will get finished off here by AG Silver. I think they did need to do some aggressive play. They're definitely starting to fall behind. Only 3 health left. Points Donation Squad needed to try something. Needed to try and stall the game so they can get their level 20 safer. But now 2 siege camps are going to be there for under noob management. They got the one on the left and the right. And if any one of these camps in its entirety can land, they just need 3 of these 6 to land. They just straight up win. Lumi gonna get caught into the temporal loop, but with the cleanse will be okay. This Chromage taking a bit of damage from everything. It is going to be the piercing sands, but with the wind wall, they will be able to just land the sapper camp, and that's going to be the game. But they're gonna win the team fight after anyway, but doesn't matter as the core does explode. And with that, that's a game 1 for sure. Gonna be won by under noob management. And I think it was a pretty close game to start. Points Donation Squad, they had the early kills. They were 2-0 up at the start. They were able to transition that into stealing a camp. They got the bottom wall very early on. And then it was just 1 or 2 team fights. Under noob management was able to win it out, and they were able to scale up from there. The Vol and the Falstad obviously so powerful as the game goes forward. Now, I wouldn't be able to tell by the DPS numbers, because Robot Wizard 63k, Jack Burton 40k, and only then do AG Silver and Lumi pop up. But what really matters is the way they were dealing that damage. Jack Burton and Robot Wizard, they were focused more on poke, more on harassment, but AG Silver and Lumi, they went in during teamfights and they would wipe teamfights. It's not a lot of damage numbers, but it's higher damage value. Now, that being said, that was the end of game number 1. We're going to go to a short break, but when we come back, there's at least one more game coming your way. So don't go anywhere.
Dragonshire.
All right, welcome back. We are here for game number 2 between Points Donation Squad and Under Newb Management. Now, Points Donation Squad did select first pick this time around, so this was a map picked by Under Newb Management. It is a much taller map, but once again, Dahaka, whenever there's a big, tall map, Dahaka shines. So going to be interesting to see if Points Donation Squad decide to have the first pick to potentially lock in the Dahaka. But I'm not sure that Under Newb Management would allow them to do that. Now the Garrosh is going to be banned away from Points Donation, and the Joanna going to get banned by Under Newb Management. So right now, just kind of getting rid of the tanks. And the Joanna did perform quite well in the previous game, though it was played by Liddell. But this time, since they know they do not have the first pick, they want to make sure that that's just not in the game. Second ban. Last time, this was the Jaina, and this time will also be the Jaina. Trying to get rid of that long-range poke, long-range DPS, and that Blizzard is pretty consistent in terms of the damage. And it can be pretty strong. And they're going to get rid of a second tank, Anubarak. Going to get banned by Under Newb Management. So they definitely did manage to scare them at least a little bit with that pick in game 1. Dahaka is available if they want on the sides of Point Donation Squad. Now, was that let through because they have a good answer to it? We're going to find out, because Emsky is going to lock in the Dahaka first. Now, Oriel is still available, same with Chromie. And Chromie's going to get locked in by Lumi. And Anduin gonna get locked by Alwyn by default. So two very powerful heroes, Anduin able to provide a lot of safety with a Leap of Faith, doubling as both a cleanse and getting them out of safety, because you can cleanse them, you can cleanse the crowd control, but if there's any damage there, it's still gonna land. Get out of the AoEs. And Tassadar and Oriel. Okay, so Oriel, obviously very strong healer. Fading Cheshire gonna lock that in. But Tassadar for Jack Burton, that's a bit more of an interesting pick. It still performs pretty similar to how Chromie does, at least in terms of just long range poke. The shock ray, once it gets to the lake, if you're able to land it onto 3-4 members in a team fight, it does insane amounts of damage. Super powerful. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that Tassadar is going to be played. But now Varian going to get banned by under Newb management. So waiting for a final ban for Points Donation Squad. The tank is yet to be picked for either of these two teams, as four of them have been banned away. Points Donation Squad, you have the option of doing something funny and banning away a fifth. Get rid of that Diablo or something. I don't know. And it's going to be the Kel'Thuzad. So that's an interesting ban. Trying to prevent the double mage. I do think, like I said, Chromie is one of those mages where you could have Chromie be your base consistent DPS. Chromie deals a lot of damage. But now it's going to be ETC for Liddell and Imperius for Chromage. So it will be the Imperius into Dahaka. I believe Imperius does win all-out fights, but Dahaka should win in sustain. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm still trying to learn my offlane matchups. But we'll have to see as we go forward. But now we are looking to... Yeah, sorry. I'm just checking the chat. I'm not muted. You made me check my OBS. But no, everything's good. Robot Wizard going to lock in the Falstad, and the Duke going to lock in the Muradin. So they're going to have the tanks, and AG Silver going to lock in the Sonya. So it is the double bruiser. And I'm wondering who they're going to pair into the top side. I think Sonya might have a better time 1v1 into Dahaka. So I'd expect that to be the pick. Imperius does fall behind a little bit. But there's a lot of crowd control over on the side of Underneath Management. Before we get into Game 2, huge shout out to 3peaks for sponsoring today's stream. Like to help support the stream, exclamation 3peaks in chat or click the panel down below. And I'm looking forward to showing you more about it. All right, and here we are in game number 2 between Points Donation Squad and Under Newb Management. Now, both sides, they're currently bringing all 5 members into the mid lane. I'm wondering how the lane assignments are going to be, especially for Under Newb Management. I think that's where it gets really interesting. Well, let's see if both sides gonna walk into it and potentially we'll see the fight. I always love watching both teams just walk forward. But they're going to be able to get the vision over into this mid lane, but now the Duke walking forward. AJ Silver looking for the power slide, but not able to get it right away. But they do have the force wall, and the leap of faith that I was talking about kept AJ Silver alive. I think with any other healer, it would have been a very tall order to keep AJ Silver alive there. But now it is going to be Chromage on the Sonya, matching Emsky. Chromage definitely would be winning the fights, but now Liddell is starting to get low. Shockray over top. Not going to be enough for the last hit. But that's still going to be pressure coming out by Points Donation Squad. And once again, they're able to kind of win out in these early game trades. It is going to be Gathering Storm, by the way, for Robot Wizard. Lots of extra DPS there in Chromage. Looking for the bot side. They're going to have the Force Ray, or the Force Wall, but they're not going to be able to land the Storm Hammer to get that stun. Emsky going to get the first push. I'm going to run immediately back top as the siege camps have now spawned. Points Donation Squad is going to start collecting their own. However, while this is happening, the minions are crashing, so they may lose a little bit of soak because of it. The Duke just trying to get in the way. AG Silver is still mounted up, going to do one auto back towards the Duke. As Robot Wizard not going to collect this XP globules. But now the Duke is positioning forward, and they may be trying to contest on their own. AJ Silver taking a lot of damage, and the Duke standing onto the point, gonna get pushed away. The Tamus are gonna pull them in the back, and with the power slide, they're gonna run away, but the Duke still in the bad spot, and the Siege Camp is going to end up getting stolen. Points Donation Squad able to get it for themselves. The drag coming through with a Brush Stalker from Emski, and it was actually pretty interesting watching that, because both these two teams, they were able to set themselves up where they're changing who's taking the damage. AG Silver was tanking originally, and then Liddell walked in, and then there was no one else. But unfortunately for Points Donation Squad, they had tankier members. Now the Tame Strike into the wall. Gonna land Shockwave just for extra poke. Not enough damage to go for the kill quite yet. But they do have these first moves. They are slowly stacking up. 25 stacks onto the Shockwave and 18 stacks onto Gathering Storm. Lots of scaling on the side of Points Donation Squad. AG Silver currently getting those regen orbs, and now the Duke in a bad spot. Power slide not going to land, but the wave has been pushed away. Jack Burner just kind of trying to DPS over top. And the health globule once again going to get picked up by Under Newb Management, able to steal one their way, so will help a little bit in this poke. But Robot Wizard still dealing good damage, and now they have the Tame Strike once again onto Liddell, but Liddell's quite tanky and is able to actually heal up the DPS, and will get the Celestial Charge on it too, and they have full control. AG Silver all starting to get low. Shockwave not going to land. And the Dragon Knight is up, but all 5 members are in either top side or bottom side. Liddell looking for the Celestial Charge, not going to be able to land it. Tame Strike not going to push into the wall, but will push Liddell away. Time Trap is won with the Chastise. Will be more than enough damage for first blood, as Under Newb Management will be able to get that for themselves. And that's the difficult part about playing into Chromie. Those time traps, they could be anywhere. And if you land in a bad spot, they could and will be deadly. Emski will try and get the push over in the mid lane. Same with Robot Wizard. It will take some time for this Murder to come back for the Duke to get back into play. And once they do, they could try and defend. But right now, they're just trying to make sure no one can collect this Dragon Knight. Now, Jack Burton also going to reset. Starting to get a little bit low on mana. Siege Camp spawning in 30 seconds. Now Liddell, they are already grouping their members over to the top side, but the top shrine going to get taken back by Robot Wizard. Now Emski just trading a little bit with Liddell. Is going to be able to get the drag. And now the Duke looking for the Storm Hammer. Wiz going to save for the Celestial Charge, just autoing back and forth a little bit. Just holding it for now. Power Slide is going to get used into the Chastise. And the Duke taking half the HP, but will be forced to back away, as Chromage going to take the Bruiser Camp for Points Donation Squad. Now Liddell looking for the bottom play. Now they do have the Brush Stalker coming through. They're aiming for the back line. Not going to be able to land the drag, unfortunately. Lumi able to sidestep it away. But with that, they will retake control of this bottom shrine. But they are taking good poke. Lumi able to really land that DPS over in the backside. But these hammerings are really starting to deal damage. Now the power slide into the Chastise. And once again, the Duke in a bad spot. But now AG Silver also getting poked away. Celestial Charge onto Robot Wizard. And Robot Wizard actually angles towards the down, towards the bot side. Lumi has the slowing stance, aiming for Robot Wizard, but able to sidestep it. And with that 40% move speed reduction, it is a very difficult ability to sidestep. Well played by Jack Burton. Both that, they're going to be able to hold on to their side. The top lane wall has entirely been destroyed. Emski going to be finishing clearing out the Bruiser Camp now, but not in a very good spot. You know, there's a little bit more fighting happening over to the bot side. They do have the Stormhammer landing onto Lumi, as the Siege Camp is going to get started by the side of Points Donation Squad. Robot Wizard will have a little bit of extra push over in the mid lane, but they are starting to fall behind on pacing a little bit. Half a level lead now for Under Newb Management, and they're able to slowly but surely take down these buildings as well. Now the Duke looking for the aggressive play, able to land the Stormhammer onto Lumi. Lumi's in a bad spot and will be getting taken down. Robot Wizard has more than enough damage with that Lightning Rod. And now they're going to be pushing in. Both sides have siege caps, but now Robot Wizard will be able to take this Dragon Shrine. And Emski could take it. There's no one there to prevent it right now. Emski trying to run forward, and will start channeling it, and that should be the first Dragon Knight going over to Points Donation Squad. But no, Chromage will be able to bring it back in the top side, will retake control. And now these time traps, They're definitely named athlete because that could be used at any moment. Able to get 3 members, but not going to be enough to get any kill onto it. Aegis Silver going to be getting caught out here. Level 10s on both sides. And Aegis Silver going to get hit into the wall with Containment Strike. But Gus going to get thrown down. But it's just Liddell. And no one else has really the positioning to jump onto Liddell. And it is going to be the Angelic Armaments coming out for the Imperious. But now the Force Wall is going to get used. Not too much DPS is available here, as the Psionic Echo is coming through. So the Psionic Storm's going to be a little bit more powerful. Now they're looking towards the topside. Leap going to get used by Chromage, but if Emsky's able to land the drag, and well dodged by Chromage, needed to step away from that. Would have been certain death otherwise. Now Containment Strike just going to be used to push AG Silver away. But this bot lane is starting to get poked quite hard by specifically Lumi and really all the members of under Newb management. Now they only have 3 members down here. Aegis Silver looking for the play. Will go to the mosh pit into Light Bomb. And now they're able to take down Jack Burden. Can they get anything else? Robot Wizard looking to play aggressively and has the Hammerang landing on multiple members. It is just going to be the 1 for nothing. But with that, they'll be able to take this bottom cannon tower and could potentially look towards this Bruiser camp. But right now, it doesn't seem like they're too interested in it. They want to keep sieging onto this wall. And the power slide narrowly misses the Duke. So no follow-up's going to be there. And they will be able to finish off this wall. So this wall's going to be gone. The Duke trying to prevent this wave from crashing into the fort so they can please lower the damage there. But now Robot Wizard looking towards Chromage. They will land the drag. And with all this DPS, Sleep once again has to get utilized defensively. No kill, though. Chromage will be able to survive and reset. Now the Duke's trying to hold the damage down here, but the Dragonite already taken by the Imperious. So now Liddell going to try to get that push. Will actually not be able to get that kick. Robo Wizard going to try clearing that away. And in the meanwhile, Emsky will have a little bit of a push advantage over the top side because of the roam from Robot Wizard. So this Dragonite not going to be able to get too much. Should just be able to get the wall, and that's it. However, there is more of a push happening over in this bot side. The Duke looking for a potential catch, but with the Stormhammer not landing, they're not able to really capitulate over onto this plate. If that's even how you use that word, right? I don't like using anything above 4 syllables. Now, Emsky and Robot Wizard looking for a play over in the top side as Chromage gonna be getting started on that Bruiser camp. Robot Wizard is here, could try checking it. They are pinging towards it. They see Chromage, and with the Lightning Rod and the Hammering, just gonna try and poke them away. But now Chromage looking to play aggressively, has the Gust. And now the leap is going to get utilized, but it doesn't land. And now there's no leap to escape. They're looking for the extra DPS. The Hammering is going to land, is going to get healed up out by default. But the drag comes through. Light Bomb not going to land. The target has already gone. Black Hole gets utilized as well, but the slowing stance able to buy time, buy space. So it's going to be 1 kill, but the Bruiser camp still secured by under Newb management. And while that's happening, the bot lane is getting shoved in. Robot Wizard is going to have to come back and clear that away, and will be able to pretty safely and quickly with flight. Now, in the meanwhile, Jack Burden going to get started on their own siege camp. And Robot Wizard starting to get a little bit low on mana. Maybe a concern, but how long until, well, literally right now. Okay, that works out. So the well has been taken, siege camp has been taken. And this XP lead hasn't really grown that much. And somehow, we're already at 10 minutes in. Not a single fort is down. But now they're looking to Robot Wizard. Will be able to jump away in time. They're still looking to play aggressively. Time Trap going to get land as well. The Duke looking to play aggro. They have the stasis. The drag is going to land. And they're landing it on the Imperium. Liddell trying to walk forward. And will be able to get the big stun. But the Crystal Aegis is going to keep Robot Wizard alive. And now the Black Hole trying to keep everyone away. And somehow only 1 player goes down. And it will be the Muradin. Both teams were so close to winning that fight, but the fight's not over. Liddell almost hit by the Shockwave. Robot Wizard in a bad spot will use the barrel roll to get away. 96 stacks on Gathering Storm. This is going to be a very powerful fall stat as the game continues. And the important thing about this is you get percentage damage, not flat damage. So with all these levels, it's going to scale more and more and more. At no point does it really fall behind. But Emsky's topside fort is starting to get really low. And the Dragonite is available. Robot Wizard looking to cancel it. But with Liddell, they're not going to be able to do it. It's going to be Chromage inside the Dragonite this time. And now with the punt, gonna be able to kick away this Falstad, but when the abilities have already been used, not too big a deal. AG Silver looking for the potential play, but with the force wall, they will be able to spot it out. And now the Chastise lands onto two members. AG Silver gonna get hit with the stun and the gust just to pull them away, keep this bottom fort alive. Emsky trying to clear away this top or this mid lane now, and Robot Wizard just clearing away this Dragon Knight. And once again, all the forts are still somehow standing. This bottom one is definitely going to be in a questionable position. Lumi able to deal so much damage from range, but with the force wall and the Duke's positioning, and they're actually going aggressive, and now they have the mosh pit, but the black hole is going to keep them away. The Duke in a bad spot, but Leap lands onto the healer in the backline. But now Emsky looking for another play, looking for the drag, but not going to be able to land it. The Duke's forced to jump over the wall, and it's going to be a 1-0 for under Newb management, and they should be able to take, at the very least, this fort. All three forts on Points Donation Squad are so low, but surely this is where they can take advantage of it. And now they do land the stun onto AG Silver. And the Chastise out of range. Lumi trying to walk forward and will land the Sandblast, but it's still not enough. He's just a little bit more. And Liddell actually able to get the last hit. Now AG Silver gonna be able to hit into the stun, and they will be able to take down the Falstad. Now Liddell once again caught out on the other side of the force wall, but there's no DPS to follow. 123 gathering storm stacks, but under Newb management, they're still slowly but surely pushing out Points Donation Squad. And this is a pretty snowballing map. If you're able to get an advantage, it becomes so much easier to hold all these different shrines, the top and the bottom one. And now Points Donation Squad, they're looking to take their own Bruiser Camp. Not a full level lead quite yet for under Newb management, but it is getting close, and that level 18 is also going to be the Storm talent for Lumi. The Lumi is going to be quite powerful soon enough. But now the shrines are reactivating, and the natural positioning will favor under Newb management since they do have that bottom fort. And this top lane fort also 700 HP. If anyone's able to get even near it, they will be able to finish it off. But it is scary right now. And under Newb management, they're playing patiently. They know they don't need to force it. Eventually, it will go down. Now Emsky looking to prevent this Dragon Shrine from getting taken, as the bot side gets shoved out by Points Donation Squad. Jack Burton already in position. They're just going to take their siege camp. No siege camp is available right now from the side of under Newb management, and that could help them with the push at least a little bit. But now the siege camp is going to get finished off. AG Silver going to take control of this bottom shrine. Over the top side, Chromage has the Bruiser camp as well. Could look to fight a little bit aggressively into Emsky. But they are sending the full roster up here, just trying to prevent this Dragon Shrine, or this Dragon Knight, from going over. And this could definitely help delay, because level 20 is definitely going to be first for under Newb management. And with Chromie, they already have Unraveling, lowering the spell armor up to 50, depending on how long you've been in there. And that's really going to increase the burst damage that is available for under Newb management. They're taking control of the mid lane. And I think for them, they do want to start playing at least somewhat aggressive soon. And they can walk up a little bit. But now the Duke looking for an aggressive play. The Duke looking for Lumi. Goes in stasis. No Stormhammer going to get thrown out. And the Shock Ray is going to go wide as well. But they are going to be able to retake mid control on the side of Points Donation Squad. They found Liddell. The Dragon not going to land. But the Duke going to get the slow. They're going to get the stun. They're going to be able to push them further back. Still blinded with the isolation. But with the leap over the backside and the mosh pit on the 3 immediately canceled. But the Chastise and the light bomb will not be canceled. Emsky still in the middle of it all. But they're able to take down the Dahaka in the backline. But now Lumi's getting jumped upon by Robot Wizard. Robot Wizard sidestepping everything. But still, that's another win for under Newb management. It's a 1-0. Was a very close team fight, but they were able to come out just ahead. And with that, they will take control of this top shrine as they hit level 20. Chromage should be able to get it here for the team. But how long can they delay on the side of Points Donation Squad? They definitely want to get to level 20 ASAP. And the Duke is going to be able to take control of this bottom shrine. With that, they're going to be given a bit more time to push out the waves, collect some XP that's on the map, as Liddell trying to burn down this mid lane fort. 123 HP. The Duke going to be able to get an extra stun. AG Silver will use the power slide to get away. And once again, they've managed to take this bottom shrine. Lumi's there now. But now Robot Wizard will retake the top side. So no Dragon Knight is going to be coming out. Level 20's almost there. And now Chromage in a bad spot. Immediately uses Leap. But not able to back away. We'll have to use that cooldown. It is pretty short this late in the game. 40 seconds. As the Duke is walking into everyone. Level 20's on both sides. Light Bomb is going to get thrown out. And the Duke's still alive. But the Crystal Age is keeping them alive. And now Liddell is in a bad spot on the opposite side of the force while Emsky looking for a potential play. Stormhammer will land. And the Hammer Egg dealing so much damage at this point. 135 stacks from Robot Wizard. But now they're able to get another stun onto the Duke. But with the shield coming out, we'll be okay for now. Time Trap lands onto 2. And the Mosh Pit and the Celestial Charge. They're able to stun up AJ Silver. And AJ Silver now in a bad spot. The Robot Wizard just focusing onto the backside. Allen by default taking down to about a 3rd HP. And Jack Burton's Shock Rays, they are skilled. They are dealing so much damage now as well. And now if they can do just a little bit more. AJ Silver looking for the play, and the leap does land. But no one's in the crater, but it doesn't matter. They found Fading Cheshi. And with that, they no longer have the healer. They no longer have the sustain they need. Allen by default playing aggressively on the Anduin, but not very necessary. Without the Oriole, there's no way they can continue these team fights. And they're going to have to give up this next Dragon Knight. Luckily for them, there's still some time before they can grab it. Chromage is on the top shrine. But now they're looking to fight for the siege camp. That could be something they could do. But with the wind tunnel, they will be able to get it. And the black hole. But the light bomb over to the backside. And AG Silver looking for the play. The Duke is going to go down. Emsky down in a very bad spot. Will get hit by the reverb. And will get taken down. And now it's 3 members gone from Points Donation Squad. They have the Dragon Knight. This could be an opportunity to win the game. This is a very strong position to be in from under Newb management. And they will take down this bottom cannon tower. The Oriole is going to be respawning, so it is going to be 5-on-3 soon. But it's still going to be difficult. This Dragon Knight's able to deal so much. Luckily, Robot Wizard has so much damage right now, but they are onto the backline, but will not be able to get anything else. Luckily, the Mosh Pit not able to land. And now the Dragon Knight already at half HP with the Shock Rays. With the damage from Robot Wizard, they are quite strong. Wind Tunnel is going to be back up, but they're able to get onto Jack Burton. But with the Crystal Aegis, will be okay. Meanwhile, the Dragon Knight does punt away Robot Wizard. And with the Wind Tunnel, they will be able to end it at just a little bit of poke damage onto the core. But the Dragon Knight actually walking back in as Chromage is going to be taken out of it. And they're down to 55% health on the core. The bottom keep also got taken down during that. So the game is still alive. Points Donation Squad, they could still bring this back. But it gets harder and harder with the more structures they're missing. Every fort's still up for under new management. Every single keep obviously still up for them as well. And it's just going to be difficult. The walls are luckily looking okay for the mid lane, but the top lane is entirely gone as well. And that could be their next point of contention for under new management. I think if they're able to get one more Dragon Knight, they can literally just walk it in and end the game. There's really not too much Points Donation Squad can do about it right now, but the Duke looking to play aggressively and will be able to jump away from the Celestial Charge. They have the stun onto AG Silver, but no further follow-up. Right now, they're just trying to clear away these lanes. Luckily, it does take some time before the shrines become active again. The Points Donation Squad, they will have the opportunity to push out these lanes, maybe get some advantage somewhere, but it gets so hard as they go into the end. These pushes are going to be so difficult for them to match. Luckily, they do have 2 globals. They have Flight from Robot Wizard and the Breaststalker from Emsky. And I do believe it's better if Emsky is later to the fight than Robot Wizard. Robot Wizard is 153 stacks. They need that damage during these team fights. They also need the guts. As the Duke looking forward, gets Liddell. And now they have the silence, they have the stun, and so much damage done onto Liddell will force out the Leap of Faith and the Angelic Armaments. But that's going to be 2 ultimates used as well. The Isolate and the Avatar was popped by Points Donation Squad. And once again, they look for the play. And while they're looking for it, top lane's getting pushed in. Bot lane's getting pushed in. And Robot Wizard going to get into the mosh pit. Black Hole does come out. But with the chassis and with the DPS, that's all that's needed. And once again, the leap onto the backline. Chromage spinning in the middle of all of them will get hit by the light bomb. The Crystal Aegis does come out, but it's just Jack Burton alive, trying to run away. Same with Emsky, but this should be it. Emsky in a bad spot as well, going to get caught out here with the Chastise, with the final hit. 4-0 for Newb management, and they will walk down the bot lane, and they should be able to take down the core. Jack Burton, I believe, get the highlight play here. Liddell looking for the Celestial Charge, and is taking a decent amount of poke, but I think it's just too little. It's too hard, and Jack Burton will be in a bad spot now. But Liddell just kind of bullying onto Jack Burton, will be able to get the kill, and that's going to be a 2-0 domination for Newb management. And this was well fought by Points Donation Squad, but Newb management just team fighting better. And I think that's really where the difference came through. Points Donation Squad in the early game, they matched a lot of good plays. They were able to get some pickoffs. But once the big team fights come out, I think that's where Newb management really took control. And even in terms of macro game pacing, Points Donation Squad kept up. And at some points even took the lead. But at the end of the day, the team fight is where the games are won and lost, and Newb management, we're able to execute better. Now I'm going to try and see if someone is available for an interview. Give me one moment. All right. And as we wait to see a response, I'm just going to quickly set this up. It does take a while. Discord's weird because it has like every single channel, no matter what you click on, is considered a different window. And I am joined here by Liddell. Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Casting. Oh, anytime. How are you?
Good. Feeling pretty good. Good start to the season so far, so not many complaints.
Yeah, I believe you're up at 11 points now with this domination. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations on the match. Very clean 2 games coming out from you this game. Or this series, I should say.
Yeah, thank you. We feel pretty good about how that set went overall.
Yeah, so I guess the first question I want to ask you is, what did you think of Points Donation Squad?
I know they're a new team. We scrimmed them. I think their main MO is they look for a lot of wombo combos. So that's something we look for in draft to try and nullify in some way. Or just a lot of like setting up ults that synergize well. So we were looking on keep having healers that could really save us in desperate times. And then having offlaners that could punish if we were able to survive as a 4-man, punish those rotations by pushing hard in the offlane. So that's kind of what we were looking for.
Yeah,
based on how they play.
Yeah, and it definitely seemed to work well for you. I saw that the way you played, it was more of a slow pace. And like you said, you had the Anduin there to kind of prevent those wombo combos. And I think especially in that second game, without the Anduin, some of those wombo combos definitely would have worked.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They had a really scary stun combo with Gust potential as well. So we really just wanted to stay on our side of the map and slowly whittle the XP down. And kind of like slowly death by 1,000 cuts was kind of our attempted approach for that game.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting strategy because for the most part when I cast, I noticed that most teams, they like to just play aggressive, play fast. But your style is very different. It seems kind of baiting and waiting for a mistake and then hard punishing the mistake. But it's worked really well, at the very least in this series. I don't think I've seen too many of your other games quite yet. But obviously you're standing in the draft, or you're standing in the standings, reflects that. Do you think this is a style you want to keep having for the rest of the season? Or do you want to just use that as a starting point?
Say overall, the teams I've been on have been known for that slower style, a bit more methodical. I think we have options to be a bit more aggressive, and we definitely have pick comps and stuff like that. But into teams that are aggressive, I kind of prefer taking that more passive approach and hoping to kind of use that aggression against teams. I mean, that can always backfire because sometimes the team that engages first just wins the fight. And that's definitely how a lot of organized teams like to play, as you said. So I'd say it's overall an identity, but not something we're married to, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. Then I will say, from a viewer perspective, it's really entertaining when different teams have their own different unique styles. So I really appreciate this slower gameplay coming through. It definitely changes a lot about, well, how I view HOTS at the very least.
Oh, well, cheers. Thank you.
And then one final question. I ask everyone this. Do you have anything you would like to say to all of your fans?
Well, I always shout out the casters and all the amazing administrators and all of that stuff that make NGS work, because I've never been directly involved in volunteering NGS, but I know a lot of these for fun organizations take a lot of hours behind the scenes, and then the casting has made the NGS community that much better. So shout out to all of that, and then shout out to our new teammate Chromage, who's fitting in well, and overall just a good team that has been a lot of fun for a while. And our MO is just kind of try hard, but don't get toxic and just have a good time. So we've been able to be pretty successful over the years. Not necessarily winning in playoffs all the time, but staying all friends and having a good time. So
Well, that's the number one thing for NGS, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and once again, congratulations on the domination.
Cheers. Yeah. Thanks for the cast, and hope to talk to you again sometime after another win.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Looking forward to it. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Good night.
And with that, that'll be the end of today's stream. I will be back live once again tomorrow, where I will be doing a double cast of Division A once again, Fancy Flightless Foul versus Came From Behind, and then 2 hours later, Bunker Fun Time versus Roll 1 Esports. So if you want to watch some NGS action, be sure to tune in tomorrow. And once again, quick shout out to Tiki Solitaire 3peaks for sponsoring this stream. If you're looking for ways to help support this stream, number one way, you're already doing it, watching it. Number two way, click the link, download the game, reach the goals that you see on the widget. And for everyone that does it, we've already had 4 people download the game. Thank you very much, and huge shout out. And as well, tomorrow, between the 2 games, we will be giving away 2 gift subs during the sponsored segment. So be sure not to miss it. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night.